Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy, and if you are new here, welcome. I'm a life and relationship coach, and on this channel we get to the root of the issue and we learn how to heal and deal. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of the fam. And if you're already a subscriber, you know I appreciate you so much. Also, we have some exciting news where I now have a Patreon. And on this Patreon, it was really important. I wanted to emphasize community because I wanted to make a place where like-minded people or people that you can relate to can talk about things. And I'll be on there doing live messaging Q&A, and you guys can have access to polls and kind of deciding what type of videos you want me to put out there, and we'll do exclusive content, so depending on the tier you choose. So I highly recommend you looking into it and joining it. It's like really cheap per month, and also eventually as time goes on I really would love to add more things like being able to do accountability and goals and checking in. So if that's of interest to you, please don't hesitate to check it out, so that way we can form that community. Okay, so putting all the excitingness to the side, what is today's video? Today we're going to be talking about detachment. So when I say detachment, I don't mean detachment from your emotions. When I say detachment, I'm talking about detachment from needing things to have a certain outcome. So we as humans, we often attach our happiness to external things. I'll be happy when this happens or when that happens, or I'll be devastated and unhappy if this doesn't happen. We get so attached to how we want things to be and we get so attached to our desires that when they don't happen the way that we would like, it can lead to extreme disappointment or even can lead to depression. And then when we deal with this disappointment and depression, we don't know how to deal with all these feelings, especially if we don't know how to self-soothe. Then we often will not want to try again, or we will not go after our desires, and we'll have these thoughts of what's the point, nothing works out for me. And then it's hard for you to live in authenticity because you get so attached to how you want things to be that then you can live in negativity out of the fear of failure, or fear of rejection, or fear of it not turning out how you would like. See, it's very natural to have desires. I'm not here to tell you don't have desires, but it's a double-edged sword where when you finally get what you desire, you're very happy, but then there can be that fear of it going away or being taken away when you hold on to it so tightly, or you have extreme emotions to having that thing and feeling like you need to have this thing. The problem with being attached to outcomes is when you get attached to a dream or a goal or a person, you will have these thoughts of, if I don't have this, I won't be whole. You basically are giving your power away and your control away when you feel the need for things to turn out a certain way and a need for it to turn out good. One of the reasons why we will hold on for dear life for things to be a certain outcome is because it's a way for us to feel in control, where we're trying to gain a certain outcome. We're trying to gain that certainty, and we feel like we have these certainty, we will have strong feelings towards it, and we feel like we're more likely to get it to happen. Since we are guided by our emotions, this desire will make you feel the need to try to make it happen as much as possible. So that's your way of feeling in control. But technically, you're focusing on things that are out of your control, because you can't control things turning out a certain way. You can't control getting someone to like you. You can't control if you're going to have certain finances. I mean, there's some controls, not like you have none, but you can't fully control certain things. You can't control your health, but you holding on for dear life and you trying to gain this certainty is a way for you to feel like you have control in something that's out of your control. It's kind of similar with anxiety, worrying. Worrying is a way to feel more in control. It's a similar aspect. So again, understand there is nothing wrong with desiring things. The problem is desiring it so much and getting attached to it so much that you feel like you need it to happen in order to be okay, content, or happy. That's what leads to the anxiety, the fear, the stress, and that's what eventually leads to those extreme feelings of disappointment. So you still will have desires, and you still should have desires, but the goal needs to be that you detach your desires from it needing to be a certain outcome and detach it from your happiness. So to understand more about detachment, detachment is not caring. It doesn't mean you don't care. It's really putting space between you and that thing and seeing it objectively. So it's taking these extreme emotions out of it and seeing it as it is, rather than putting all your subjective opinions onto it. When you remove the attachment, you remove the tension and the stress of it needing to happen, and then remove the disappointment. By detaching, you are finding stillness and removing that voice inside you that feels the need to react or feels these extreme emotions towards this thing. So it's a matter of saying, I acknowledge I want this, because you don't want to pretend you don't want things. You don't want to pretend you don't care, like I said. But it's saying, like, I acknowledge I want this, because you're human and you will want things, and saying, but I don't need it to be okay or happy. For instance, let's talk about you really want a partner. You acknowledge, I want to be in a relationship, right? When you see it objectively, you see it as, okay, there's this person where I see that they can add to my life, but I don't need them to fulfill my life. It is not a necessity to be with someone romantically. The strong feelings, the strong desire you have that keeps you attached may be that you're trying to catch up to society, or you're trying to cope with your loneliness, or you find a lot of your value and your self-worth by having a partner. That's where the attachment is. So instead, you fulfill your own needs and you are able to make yourself happy. And you see this person as an added extra in your life where, you know, you'll be fine whether they're there or not. Then if something were to happen and they were to go away, you would not have this extreme attachment where you would be devastated if it didn't work out. Like, yes, it would be sad, but you wouldn't be devastated where you feel out of control and insecure. So with detachment, like I said, it's letting go of something needing to be a certain outcome, something that is completely out of your control, and you put yourself back in control by welcoming uncertainty and being okay with uncertainty. I cannot know everything, and that is okay. I don't need these things to be a certain way to be okay. I welcome whatever comes my way. So as you see, it's not caring, it's welcoming and accepting uncertainty. This doesn't just work with desires, it also works with fears. So let's see things as a whole. We put feelings behind it, right? Generally, the things that we're scared of, they're not objectively bad. For instance, the fear of dying, which that's a huge fear of mine, worst fear ever. If I were to rate how bad I'm afraid of it, it's like 100 out of 10. But when you look at it objectively, it's not really bad. We've evolved to fear it and not want to do it because we want to exist as long as possible. When it comes to your fears, it's a matter of looking at them and saying, if this happens, I'm okay with it, whatever the outcome is. Because no matter what, we can't control things like we can't control death. We can't control things from certain things happening. Some things are inevitable, or we maybe can lessen the blow or lessen how severe it is, but we can't always prevent everything. There's things we can prevent and there's things that we can't. So, you know, obviously, you know, weighing out the risk, you know, kind of doing things that you can, but also just welcoming things and saying, okay, whatever happens, I'm okay with it. I welcome it. So as you can see, the benefits of detachment is being happy as a whole and not getting wavered by outside circumstances. So don't get me wrong, things will still bother you. It's not like you become robotic, but you will have a strong foundation in yourself, and when things happen, may kind of knock you off a little bit or move you a little bit, but you're able to go right back onto your strong foundation because you've already built it, and you can come right back to your center. I sound so Gandhi right now. So how to start practicing detachment? 1, welcome whatever comes your way. Change is always happening and you cannot for sure get the things that you desire. Accept that. Let go of your need of what you want things or you need things to be, and accept things the way they are. And accept what is. Welcome uncertainty and change, as change is always happening. Now that doesn't mean that you can't go after things that you want. Like I said, you still can go after things you want, but it's like it's being like stoic and letting go of the feelings of the need for it to be there or you will be devastated. It's, I look forward to the uncertainty of what could come, and I don't need it to be a certain way. Like for instance, let's say you're going to a party and the party colors could be orange, yellow, and blue. Instead of having this desire of you need it to be blue, this is a really weird example, but it's the first thing that came to my mind, you welcome the yellow, orange, and blue. You know, you welcome all the possibilities of it happening either of those colors. And then the next thing I would say is focus on yourself. So this is where building the strong foundation comes in. Being your best friend, liking yourself. When you detach from outcome, it's important to ground yourself in who you are. And this is so that you always have yourself to fall back on. And how you can do this is by you identifying and acknowledging, what do you value about yourself? Who are you? What makes you you? What kind of energy or people do you want to be around? Because having emotional support and being around people is really important practice of self-love, because we're not, you know, creatures that are just on our own. Like, we need to have a community. So like, what type of people do you want to be around that you do want to fall back on? When problems arise, how do you want to handle it? Do you know how to emotionally regulate? Learn how to emotionally regulate. Learn how to self-soothe. Really appreciate and validate who you are. And this is the strong foundation you will have, where when things go awry, you feel safe in yourself and you feel comfortable and you trust in yourself that you're gonna make it through, and you don't need this certain outcome to be okay. You have you as the center and the foundation. But I think detaching is such a great practice, and it helps so much. Like, I've been practicing detachment and I feel so much more relieved, because I'm someone where I can get very attached to certain outcomes of wanting things to be a certain way, and me detaching and be like, you know what happens, I'm gonna welcome it and walk into it. And it's definitely been a tension releaser. So what do you guys think? Leave it on the comments below. And please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone that you think may need it. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye, guys. I feel like yellow is the perfect color for being happy in yourself. Like, you are the sunshine. I don't know what crack I smoked, but I'll make sure not to do it next video. Oh, Sasha, I thought you were here the whole time, but it's just your blankets. I'm going senile. Oh, where'd my ring go? Well done.